Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be my deck of panning update. So that is a pretty popular project here in the panning community that involves a deck of cards. It was created by Emily and Max, who I will have listed down in the description box, but I'm going to go over all the products that I've had in this project so far, my progress on them. We're maybe potentially going to roll in some new products today, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get into it. All right, so like I said, this is a pretty popular panning project in the panning community, so I don't want to talk too much about the rules and how it works, all that good stuff. There is a introduction video and a how-to video that I will link down below that Emily and Max, who again is the creator of this project, has done. So if you need to know the rules, how it works, all that good stuff, it'll be down in the description box. But I'm pretty sure you'll get the gist of it if this is your first time with the video here on how it works. So it does involve a deck of cards, and the deck of cards tells you what prompt you're going to get in order to pull the products. Now, typically you have 5 prompts. Today I have six products to update you on because I did pull a draw 2, which added an additional product for me to work on. So let's just get started on my progress. I am very, very excited. This project does end in December, and I believe we take a month off for it to start back up in January if it comes back next year. But there's only 2 more updates left. Well, 1 more update and then the finale, I guess. So we don't have too much time, but I am excited because I do have a complete refresh. So I did meet my goals on everything today. Let's go over what my products were. So the first one I want to talk about is my rollover product. So this I rolled over in, what month are we? August? This I rolled over in August. I am losing track of the months already. And I pulled the 5 of clubs, which was for primer. And I decided to pull in like 2 little mini primers. This is the Becca Skin Love Brighten and Blur primer. My goal was to finish these because they were teeny tiny, but it did take me longer than I anticipated it to. So last month I had 12 uses on these primers and I had finished 1 of them. So it took me an additional 11 uses to finish the second one. So altogether, what is that? 23 uses to finish both of these little mini primers. It was only 6 milliliters. I mean, really, really small, but you didn't need a lot. It was a nice primer. You can't buy it anymore, so I'm not going to give it like a raving review when there's really no point since Becca is no longer a brand. But I'm really excited to now just like put these in my empties and have less mini products just floating around in my collection. So happy with this project, happy that it just got some things out of my collection, but this did take me 2 months to do. The rest of these products were all pulled in last update. So the first one that I have was for the Jack of Hearts, which was for the prompt Indie, and I decided to pull in my Unearthly Gargoyle palette. I had this in my pile of shame, so it was unused in my collection. Here is what it looks like. And my goal was to use this No Pan Left Behind. That's usually my goal for all of my palettes, just because I am also doing a No Pan Left Behind challenge. I will link that video up above in the cards if you want to see it. So I will talk about this video at the end of the month, beginning of next month, and go over all of my looks that I did if you're curious about it. But I did make my goal. I did use this No Pan Left Behind, and I quite liked it actually. I feel like I was a little bit on the fence with picking this up because I love Unearthly's formula, but it felt really blue heavy, especially with the background. And it's actually less blue heavy than I thought once I actually used it. Like, you do have some really nice neutrals, just cool tone neutrals. You have these blues here, but really I don't mind like a steely blue or a really dark navy. It's these types of blues that I just don't really love. And there's only 1 in here. So it was much easier to use than I thought. I'm trying to use all of my Unearthly palettes so I can eventually rank them, but this is rolling out as well as everything else, but I made my goal. Very happy about that. The next prompt that I had was for the Two of Hearts, which was for Black-owned makeup brand. I ended up going with my Pat McGrath highlight here. This is in Divine Rose, and it looks like this. Because I pulled the Two of Hearts, I just had a really small baby goal of using it 2 times, so that was a really easy one for me to do. Here's a swatch of it. It kind of has like a very warm tone gold to pink shift. It's actually much more subtle of a duochrome highlighter than you would think, so I find that you can wear it every day and it's not this kind of highlight where, wow, she's wearing this duochrome highlight or a really crazy highlight or anything like that. I do tend to be more natural, neutral on an everyday basis. I don't go too wild and crazy with my makeup or like artistic with my makeup. So super easy, get 2 uses. I did only get 2 uses because of other projects. But it was nice to just give this some love because I feel like, you know, everything in my collection goes a little bit neglected. So happy to get some use on it this year. And it's a really pretty one. I like having it in my collection. I can see why it's passed some of my declutters. Just overall happy with the decision to keep this around. Now, the next product was for the Three of Clubs, which was the prompt bronzer. And I pulled in a favorite of mine. This is the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. Again, because I pulled the Three of Clubs, I decided to give myself a 3 usage goal on this, which was very easy. Love, love, love this bronzer. Probably the #1 bronzer I would recommend from the drugstore. Off the top of my head, like I really love the L'Oreal Lumi bronzer, but that's discontinued now, so you can no longer get it. I think from what you can get, this would be the one that I love. It is definitely matte, so you have to like a matte bronzer. I like that it's a little bit more neutral, cool toned. It is baked, but I just find it really flattering on the skin. And while it is a matte bronzer, it's not very flat. So here's kind of a swatch if you can see it, but it is a lighter toned bronzer for me. And personally, I like that because I can go a little bit bronzer heavy. And this way I don't have to worry too much about having too much bronzer and really just looking like bronzer helmet, etc. Because my bronzer blindness is much more apparent than my blush blindness. But got 3 uses on it, super great. And again, just like happy to give a little bit of usage, even though very small, to some things in my collection and just remind myself on the really nice products that I have too much of and can never get around to. And then I have 2 more prompts to go over because like I said, I had 6 prompts this past month since I drew the Ace of Diamonds, which was for Draw 2. So the next one was the 8 of Diamonds, and that was for the prompt Wildcard. And since I had a bronzer and a highlight already pulled into this project, it just made sense for me to pull in a blush. And this was the blush I decided to go with. I could not remember the last time I pulled this into a Shop My Stash. It's one of my oldest blushes. This is the Surratt blush in Chaleur, which kind of just means like heat in French. It's kind of like a warm toned bronzer blush. It's really, really pretty. This is my only Surratt like cheek product. It looks like this, just a really great everyday blush. And again, since the card that I pulled was an 8, I had an 8 use goal on it. This one was a little bit tougher to get my usage on, but I was able to do it, and it's a really nice blush. Even though it's very old, it's going strong in my collection. Very happy about it. I would love to finish this up one day, but even though it is small, it's 4 grams of product. Like it still would take me a very, very long time to use this entire blush up, but I'm happy I pulled it in. Just give it some extra love and hopefully remind myself like this would be one that would be good to pull in and just focus on for the next month. It just goes with everything. I love it. The very last prompt that I have was for the 4 of Spades, which was for favorite category. My favorite category, without a doubt, is foundation. If you're subscribed to my channel, if you watch any of my videos, I do a lot of foundation reviews. It's always been my favorite category. I don't know why, but I have a ton of foundations. And I decided to pull in my Fenty Beauty. This is the Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I have the shade 6. And since it was the 4 of Spades, I had a 4 use goal on it. Love this fell in love with it. I think I'm actually pretty far down. Like if I had to guess, I'm about here, which is quite a feat for my foundations. Like, I mean, I can hear like some good shaking, but this is opaque packaging. I'm pretty positive. So I can't tell where I am. I would, again, love to finish this up. Highly recommend to a lot of people. It's a natural matte finish, but not too flat matte. So if you love like really glowy, dewy foundations, you might not like this, but I just think it's the perfect amount of coverage. It's highly long wearing and transfer proof. I cannot say enough good things about this. I know that the stick foundation came out, and while I would love to try that, I'm happy with this one. I really am. So I'm convinced this will be one that I will prioritize panning, but there's some others that maybe take precedent that are a little bit older. This is not that old in my collection, so I don't think I'll pan it right away, but really love this. And I think it's also like a fairly reasonably affordable foundation as well. So this is great. But those were all of my prompts that I had for the last month or so. I'm excited to just start fresh since there's only 2 more months that I'll be doing this. I like having this project be kind of my roll in, roll out project. I don't always have a full refresh, but a lot of the times I do, which is fine by me. So we're going to pull 5 cards today, go back to 5 products instead of 6. And I have my deck of cards here. So let's just get to the fun part. The new game board is up, but I haven't looked at it like always. And then the big kind of thing that we always talk about this project is the Joker. So the Joker stands for Are You Joking? Which is supposed to be kind of like a harder goal. It doesn't mean you're hate panning something, but it does mean like maybe it's a red lip if you never wear red lips, or it's something that maybe you don't want to use because you spent too much money on it and it kind of, you only use it for special occasions. So maybe you pull that in. So I do play with both of my jokers because I like to tempt fate, and I just don't want to like lose my cards. If I put one of these jokers aside, chances are I won't be able to find it again, and then it'll just get lost and my deck won't be complete. So I just play with both. I've yet to pull the Joker, so maybe that's why I'm just feeling a little bit cocky. But I am going to throw up the game board now while I just shuffle a little bit. The game board does change month by month, so Emily does rotate the prompts and randomizes them, except for the face cards. The face cards stay the same. So you could pull the same card, but it would be a different prompt, which I just think is fun. Like there's a ton of prompts, like over 100 prompts, I think. And then that way, it just adds a little bit of extra variety to the project. And I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm just going to shuffle a few more times. But my deck should be pretty mixed up by now. So let's do one more for good luck. And we'll pull the cards and see what we're going to be working on. Now, if you can't tell from my background, I am traveling. I'm not home right now. This should actually be the last video that I'm filming in this space. And then I'll be going back home, which is really exciting to just be back with all my normal things and maybe have like better quality videos for you all. But I still have a good bulk of my collection because I drove to where I am. I was able to bring a decent amount, so I have a good amount to choose from. But let me now just split the deck, stop talking, and we're going to just pull 5 cards from the top. So the first one is the Ace of Spades. I hope that's not a draw 2. Next one, 3 of Spades. Third is 6 of Diamonds. Then we have the 10 of Spades. One more is the 2 of Hearts. So let's see what these prompts stand for and see if I need to pull another one. Because like I said, I pulled the Ace last time. Okay, black ace is for baby goal. So ace of spades, excuse me, is going to be baby goal. I like that. Most of my things are baby goal anyways. The three of spades is for mocha mousse. I have not pulled that one and I've wanted to so bad. Okay, I'm really excited about that one. Six of diamonds is for a matte product. Okay, pretty easy. The 10 of spades is for gemstone. Let me look that one up. Let's see what that stands for. If I can like pick any kind of gemstone, I'll need to look it up. And then the last one is the 2 of hearts, which is for favorite category, which is one that I pulled last month. But last month it was the 4 of spades. So as you can see, it like changed, but that's okay. We'll pull in another foundation because that's my favorite category. So let me go root around all the products that I currently have with me right now, find them, and we will talk about them. All right, I have all of my products, and I have to say this was the hardest time that I've had picking out products this entire project this year. I don't feel confident in my choices, but I think they'll do. They'll do. So the first one we're going to start with is the Ace of Spades. That was the first one I drew, which was for a baby goal. I decided to pull something that I really just don't love using, but I want to eventually get out of my collection. It is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Beauty Light Wand in Spotlight. I really just don't love a liquid highlight. I would love to get them fully out of my collection. I have like 2, and yes, I could declutter this, but I don't have it in me to declutter. So I'm gonna pull this in for baby goal, and I think my goal will be to use it 5 times. I feel like that's at least a challenge, but also a small goal. So that's what I'm gonna go with for baby goal. I still want to push myself to use things that maybe I wouldn't necessarily pull all the time. And quite honestly, until I pull this into a project pan, I will probably ignore this, but not have the heart to declutter it. So that's what we're going to do for baby goal. The next one that I had was for the 3 of clubs, which was for mocha mousse. I don't know why I had such a hard time with this one because I felt like I had to be spot on with the color. I could have pulled in a bronzer, but it just didn't feel right. It felt kind of like taking the easy way. So I decided to go with an eyeshadow palette that best represented mocha mousse for me. And that is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I have yet to use this palette this year, and it's one of my favorite palettes, probably my favorite Natasha Denona. It's just the easiest palette to use. I love the tones in here, and I feel like overall, this palette represents mocha mousse. So that's why I'm going with it. I want to use it no pan left behind like I do with all of my palettes, so that way I can cross it off of my list of palettes that I've used this year. And that shouldn't be too hard, and it'll be really nice to just use an easy palette that I can just throw on. Goes with everything. I love this palette so much. So it felt like a good compromise against the Charlotte Tilbury. So this is what we're going with for mocha mousse. Next one was the 6 of diamonds, and that was for the prompt matte. Also just had trouble with this because I really didn't bring too many primers, and that seemed like the easiest thing to go with is a matte primer, but I mostly just have like pore blurring primers or a hydrating primer, not really a matte primer. I could have pulled in a powder, but I really didn't want to work on a powder, so I decided to go with the most mattifying primer that I could find that I had right now, and I decided to go with another mini. This is the Pure No Filter Blurring Photography Primer. So this is 0.24 fluid ounces, 7 milliliters. I want to have the goal of finishing this just like I did with my other mini primers because I would love to have no more mini primers in my collection. All these like free samples floating around, I just want to get out. And really, primer is a category that I'm trying to work really hard on having like maybe 5 primers max. So goal is to finish this. I believe it provides like a little bit of mattifying, even though it says it's a blurring primer. So I don't know. We'll see how many uses I have. I have used this already, so it's not like full I would say I'm maybe like halfway through if I had to guess. I'm sure it's going to last much longer than I expect, though. We'll just see. It'll be, one I can use every day until it's gone. So I just don't know how many uses that is, but hopefully it's out fairly quickly. Next one was the 10 of Spades. So again, like this was for the prompt gemstone, and I don't know, I just couldn't find something gemstone. I looked up the definition of the prompt. It was really kind of up to interpretation. It could be your birthstone. It could be something with gemstone packaging, something that reminded you of a gemstone. So I was looking through my collection, and I saw the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb. Diamond's a gemstone. So I was like, okay, this is what we're going with. And this is just the original How Many Carats. I really actually don't love this as a highlight. I will probably use it as a single shadow, but my goal is going to be to use this 10 times since I did pull the 10 of Spades. Definitely a higher goal for me. I don't know if I'll have this finished next month. Honestly, probably not. I think I know myself. Only if I'm maybe doubling up and using it as a highlight and an eyeshadow. But I don't know if I would count that as 2 uses if it's in one day. I feel like I need to use it like 10 different days in order for it to count. I'm going to make that rule right now. So 10 uses on this. We'll see if I can roll it out by next month. If I don't, it'll just be sticking around till the finale. I think I can at least definitely finish it in 2 months before the finale. And then the very last prompt was for the 2 of Hearts, which was favorite category, like I pulled last month. Already told you foundation is my favorite category. This was the easiest one for me. So I had no problems. I knew which one I wanted to pull when I looked at my different foundations. It is the Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I have the shade 23, and I knew I wanted to pull this one in because when I did Shop My Stash, which was about a week ago, I want to say. I will link that video up above. I talked about how I was thinking about pulling this foundation in, but then I ended up going with some other kind of skin tints and didn't pull this one. So it just made sense since I was teetering on trying to use this one that I pull this one in. So this is going to be for favorite category, and I'm only going to put a 2-use goal on it since it's the 2 of Hearts. Yep, that sounds good. I should definitely have this rolled out by next month, get 2 uses on it, at least just kind of remember this foundation. Like, I know that I like this foundation. I kind of remember being like on the fence about it. Like, I didn't love it as much as everyone raves about it. So I just want to remind myself, like, is this one that I really, really love? Is it one that I could potentially declutter? Or is it just like average meh? I don't remember. I just remember like feeling meh about it when I did my review. So I would love to get some thoughts on this, use it 2 times, and see if this is one that I should really focus on, how it looks on my skin. So that is my update for Deck of Panning. As I always say, please let me know if you're doing this project as well so I can make sure that I'm following along and supporting you. There is a community playlist for this project that Emily has set up. So if you like this project, you want to watch other creators' videos as well, you can just click the community playlist to check out everyone else's video. But that's all that I have for you today. So I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.